Hi, good morning. My name is Liz Cooper and I'm the Science Alive Office Coordinator here at DRI, and I'm going to be giving you a quick demo on how to use your materials and paint to kind of repurpose some items to make an animal that you are interested in based off of the Mojave Desert and Rainforest box. So you should have in your kit some CDs, some paper plates, some construction paper left over from the last activity. So you'll notice when we were talking about shapes, what shape this is, circle, what shape this is. I mean, this is more of a rectangle. Also, if your educator has any available recycling or cardboard, I cut this cardboard into, you can have a square, triangles. So think about kind of how you can utilize what you learned about shapes and the plan of what animal you're going to make for your design. So I'm going to show you just kind of how to use the paints and how to paint on repurposed materials such as this CD, which if you don't know what this is, ask your adult and hopefully they're able to tell you, but honestly they might not be able to if they are younger than me, which they probably are, and a paper plate. Okay, so first thing is set up your work area. So you want to have something down on your desk. Either I have an old rag, paper towel, newspaper. You have your little paint palette, and then you want to have a cup of water to rinse your brushes. So it's really important that you have water and a rag or a paper towel so that you can rinse your brushes off in between the colors. Because the first rule is you never want to take like your black and then put it back in the yellow, because then you're going to mess up the color of your yellow. Make sure you're wearing something that you're okay getting paint on, or you have an apron if that's available, or kind of choose an outfit that's going to be okay if you get a little bit of paint on it. Use caution when you're opening these. They are a little bit tricky. If you're having an issue, just ask your educator. So let's talk about painting on something like this. So the paint is gonna attach much differently to something like the CD and the plate and the cardboard versus what it would do onto paper. So I'm gonna kind of show you what it looks like for all three and how you can make your animal. So with this, I thought that using the shiny side would be really fun. And hopefully you have a plan for what animal you're gonna make. So I really like the idea of the desert tortoise. So we can start with that. Since this is round, I'm thinking this would be a good idea for the tortoise shell, or you could just do like this as the tortoise eye. So I'm gonna go with green. So I'm gonna dip my paintbrush into the green. So you could try to draw onto the CD. You might be able to with a pencil. I mean, you can kind of see it. Or I would encourage you to just kind of start painting and go with it. You could probably draw onto it with a marker, but okay, so I'm kind of painting on, and I'm going to keep some of this like shininess because I think it's really cool looking. So I'm going to kind of paint little sections like how we noticed that the tortoise shell was. And I'm not going to do all of them, but maybe I'm going to do like some outlines to kind of describe that shell. Okay, so I've got my green. Now I want to use yellow, so I'm rinsing my paintbrush, rinsing it off, careful not to splash, drying it on my table, and then I'm going to use some yellow because the green is cool, but I want to do another color too. So I'm doing some yellow kind of inside this one. Okay. I'm going to do some more kind of outlines with that yellow to kind of get that texture. So it's pretty fun, kind of shows up a little shimmery. So let's say this is my shell. Okay, so then I want to make the head of the tortoise and then maybe some legs. So I have this piece of cardboard. I think this would be good for like the tortoise's little beak. So again, I'm not going to build the whole thing because I want you to figure out your process, but I want to show you how it is to paint on cardboard. So sticking with this yellow, notice that the yellow almost blends in. So be thinking about using some colors that are maybe a little bit darker or brighter, just so that they can kind of pop. So I'm going to use some of this kind of sky blue You might also want to paint a little bit, let it dry, and then come back to it if you wanted to paint a background and then do some other details on top. That shows up pretty well. So if we're kind of piecing together this. Okay, and then maybe I'll do some eyes just to gotta look at it as if this is the face of the turtle. Oh gosh, sorry. Painting on the cardboard can be really fun, but you might need to do a couple of layers to get it kind of as bright as you want. And then think about like, okay, maybe I want to kind of bend this so that it gives that right effect of like the little face. Paper plate. So this could be something that you could cut up. I'm thinking of using this for maybe the legs. So your educator should have some kid scissors available for you. I'm just going to cut this in half for the sake of time. Cut it in half again. Cut it in half again. Cut it in half again. And then I'm going to do one more for the tail, right? I'm not going to paint all these, but okay, this is my vision. Shell, legs, beak, tail. So you can kind of see it from above. So painting on the paper plates is going to be kind of similar to the cardboard. So if these are the legs, I'm going to kind of stick in that color range, but I'm going to introduce some brown because this is a desert tortoise. So a little bit of brown, and think about, okay, if these are the feet, maybe I want to give little, you know, they have little claws. So maybe I want to start drawing in some little kind of like differences for the toes. Just kind of explore it and have fun with the colors. Maybe your animal changes along the way into something different. Actually, you know what I'm going to do is I'm going to paint this whole thing. Then I'm going to cut out the toes so that it's even more foot-like. Okay. So that would be like a little foot coming off of there. Look like they might even be able to stand. Okay, so painting on paper is going to be the last thing I'm going to show you. So painting on paper is going to be, it's going to work the best, the fastest, but paper is also a lot thinner than like your paper plate or your CD. So one thing you could do is fold it to make it a little bit thicker so that it doesn't push through onto your table. Just fold mine into 4s. Think about what's left. So we have the shell, we have the beak, we have the feet, we have the tail. Maybe I want to do like little, maybe something off of the head. So maybe I want to cut out another circle shape out of my paper. So I'm going to cut out a circle and then I'm going to paint it. So since it's already green, I'm going to kind of play around with this little like tan color. Again, since it is a desert tortoise. So I didn't clean my brush well enough. It has the dark brown on it that's mixing into this tan, which actually I don't mind, but that's a good reminder to always clean your brush and dry it off in between. Okay, and I'm just drying it off on my rag. Okay, so if I just had this one piece, it's already kind of pushing through. So that's why I have my little stack. But again, you can kind of work with it as you want. Notice I'm always doing my brush strokes in the same direction, and I'm kind of going back and forth layering to kind of paint it. But be thinking about what you're going to do. If you want to do like dots with the paintbrush, if you wanted to, again, draw shapes with the paintbrush. It's all about kind of exploring the materials and thinking about like what else could I be What else could I be doing with this? How do I get it to look like the animal that I like? Okay, and then the final step is you're gonna glue it all together, which I'm not gonna do. So I hope you had fun just exploring with painting on paper, painting on CDs, painting on cardboard, paper plates, and hopefully you have some sort of a creature inspired by the animals you learned about in the green box, and hopefully you had fun. Thank you.